Hey, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. What's going on, y'all? Hello. Hey, Miss Pat, I see you made it on. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday to you guys. As I famously say, I will not be on here long, but hopefully I'll say something to help make your week better than you and God have already planned. How about that? I really seriously won't be on here long. Like seriously, I won't be long. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Soul Searching Sunday. If it's already, it's your first time on, thank you for stopping by and checking out what I have to say on a Sunday. Such a beautiful day. It is hot. Hot, hot, hot. I had a customer come by to get some air freshener. I went outside to talk for a minute and, ooh, child. Almost didn't make it on here. All right, we at 7. That's good. Because like I said, I know it's a beautiful day. Everybody's busy. Most people I see, I notice, watch my my live later on, and that's fine. So thank you guys. Those of you all that are joining me. Hey, Christina. Happy Sunday to you. Again, won't be long, but hopefully powerful. So if we want to go ahead and pray right quick. Heavenly Father, we come thanking you for this day, oh God. We thank you for who we are in and through you, oh God. We ask that you would watch over us this week, oh God. We ask that you would allow us to be better this week than we were last week, oh God. We ask that you would help us to lay aside even more things this week that we weren't able to lay aside last week. Let us forgive more this week than we did last week. Let us love more, oh God. Let us forgive ourselves, oh God. Not just others, but let us forgive ourselves for whatever things that we're struggling with, Father. Let us lay another burden at your feet, oh God. Something that we weren't able to lay at your feet last week, Father. Help us to lay it at your feet this week and trust you to do exactly what your word says you'll do. How we love and thank you, Father God, for all that you are to us today and yesterday and even on tomorrow, God. We just ask that you watch over us, give us a blessed week, and help us to be better Christians, so that it would further your kingdom, and then that we would be better to ourselves, as wives, as friends, as co-workers, in every area of life, oh God. Help us to be better. In Jesus' perfect name we pray. Amen. All right. Hey, Felicia. Oh, I need to send my stuff to you. I keep forgetting. I need to do that. Okay. So, really what just stood out today, so I'm taking it, it's not a class, but me and some friends are doing, we're reading a book by T.D. Jakes. Shoot, I knew I should have brought it in my office because I don't even know why I thought I was going to remember. 10 Praying Women or something. I forgot. That's a shame. Anyway, so we're on our 5th. Today would be our 5th week. And so today is my turn to teach. So, of course, you know, you study a chapter that you read a little differently when you're the one that has to teach it. So, of course, I read this one a little slower and definitely with being more cautious about what I read so that I could properly say to the women whatever it is. And so I couldn't wait to share with you guys that's a shame I can't think of the name of the book, but it's about 10 women in the Bible. T.D. Jakes picks out these 10 women and he talks about their lives. And so this week I am dealing with Naomi. So for those of you all that are familiar with the Bible, because I mean, I knew Naomi's story. So to be honest with you, when I first agreed to teach, I was just like, oh, I should have got somebody that was more relatable to me, because I knew her story. I knew that she was a widow. Her, her husband had died, then her children died, and so she had to go back home where she was from. And her 2 daughter-in-laws started out following her, but one of them, she kept trying to convince both of them they need to go on back to where they were from. and one of them did, and the other one stuck with her. So, you know, to me, that was the gist of the story. And that, you know, when they got back, she wound up hooking up with, the daughter-in-law wound up hooking up with somebody in the family that was able to save the family name and allow Naomi to live a decent life, you know, whatever. But I never felt like I really related to her in any way. Oh my God. Yeah. First thing, the way T.D. Jakes wrote it, the first thing he talked about was all the promises that her husband had made her when they left their homeland to go and search for a better living. He made her all these promises. And so what stuck out for me was that's what happened to a lot of us as women. You know, we listen to a lot of promises that are made to us, and rightfully so. As a wife, you should. And so she went, and things didn't turn out the way her husband said they were. They actually turned out worse, because he died, and then her sons died, and definitely she didn't leave home going for that to happen, but it happened. And so T.D. Jakes, the way he tells it, that she was angry with God. She was angry at God. And so my first mind was, why were you mad at God? Like, he didn't tell you to go with that man. And so, of course, it didn't dive deep enough to say whether or not God had brought her husband to her or not. Had she taken it upon herself to pick him? I mean, what was the backdrop on that? But it did stick out to me, the fact that she got angry with God instead of getting angry with herself, like, you know, questioning him. Like, I don't think it's disrespectful or wrong for you to be, when both of you all are faced with the situation, for y'all to talk it out and say, you know, is that really a good thing to do, a bad thing? Because I actually teach that in anger management. I actually teach my clients a particular worksheet where you're supposed to literally write a situation down that you're dealing with. I actually make them do that. I make them pick 3 problems they currently have, and then pick one problem that you would like for me and you to try to resolve. And so when they pick that one problem, I tell them, write the problem. So I write down all of the things that you could possibly do, and then what are the consequences. So I think that that's a good thing for couples to do, to, you know, figure things out together. So I'm sure they couldn't, you know, it doesn't say all of that in the Bible, but I just wonder, did Naomi question him, like, or did you just do what he said, not, you know, or kind of wondering in your back of your mind, like, this is not a good idea. I probably shouldn't be doing this or whatever. But needless to say, anyway, it happened. Things turned out worse than what they were when she got to the land where he was. Like I said, she lost her husband, lost her sons. And so she's coming back home, and she's embarrassed. And she tells them to not even call her Naomi, to call her Mara, which talks about being forsaken, or and she began to be depressed and bitter. So the focus of the chapter was, don't become bitter when things, you know, bad things happen to you, because when you become bitter, and especially when your focus is on the wrong thing, when your focus is on being mad at God, then it blocks your blessings. So needless to say, I'm not going to tell y'all all of it, because I think you should read the story, the book, for yourself, because I can't wait until I teach it with these ladies to see did they catch that part of it. Because, you know, God will speak to you in ways that you're dealing with things in life. So I can't wait to find out. So I wanted to just share that with you all, that I may need to run before I get off with you all and get the book, so I can tell you the actual name, because it's a really good book. And of course, all T.D. Jakes' books are really good, and he makes them really easy to read too. But I wanted to share that with you all, because sometimes when we're reading the Bible or whatever, and we read just in general context, sometimes we'll feel like things don't really minister to us. But then God will allow other people, you know, such as myself, authors, pastors who write books, to break it down in a way that you see it in a way you never seen it before. Because I promise you, I never thought I had anything in common with Naomi until I'm reading this chapter the way T.D. Jakes breaks it down, and I'm just like, whoa, wow, like, yep, see myself there, I see myself there, I see myself there. And of course, I definitely saw myself toward the end of the situation as well. So anywho, one of the things I also wanted to share with you all was the fact that yesterday my daughter is L'Oreal Y'all may know Lorraine. Okay, so L'Oreal started this group where they're helping these young girls in Galveston. They're every Saturday they meet with a group of girls ages, I think 7 to 10. I don't know, don't make me tell the story. Anyway, they helping these young girls. And I'm just really enjoying the things that they're doing. So yesterday they videoed my daughter teaching yesterday. And so when she's teaching, she's telling the young girls, she's making them do like kind of like an affirmation picture, putting all these positive words, like they draw a picture of themselves and then put all these positive words around themselves. And so it was heartbreaking, yet it was necessary for me to hear my baby say she didn't start loving herself or even liking herself till she was in college. That hurt. But I knew it wasn't a lie, because if you all will listen to the things I tell y'all, I didn't start, and I say it all the time, I didn't start liking myself or falling in love with who I was or appreciating the looks that God gave me and being okay with them until I was married with 2 children going to church. So I was good and grown. So surely she was already on this earth and was already struggling with some things. And then her mom is just now learning those things. So by the time I probably really got comfortable with it, she was already in college. So I was just like, wow, it hurt to hear her say those things. But I'm glad I'm here to hear it, because it makes it even more so important that I keep doing what I'm doing. I keep talking. I keep reaching back and trying to help you all so that your children are not grown and just getting to a place where they like themselves and love themselves. That's why it's not about pushing the book, the affirmation book that I'm a co-author in. It's not about the book. You ain't got to never buy that book, but you need to create affirmations for yourself. You need to find affirmations that minister to you, because this world is worse now than it was when my children were children. I'm just hearing now of young girls that are exposing and being involved in things at much earlier ages. So it's imperative, you guys, that we get them to a place that they like themselves, they love themselves, they understand the value of their body, they understand the value of who they are, and how everything has a reaction or a response to it. You do good things, then good things will happen. You do bad things can happen, possibly death, unfortunately. But as heartbreaking as it was, I couldn't wait to get on here and share with you all that I was sad, and I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't embarrassed. That was not a part of what I felt at all. I wasn't embarrassed, but I was sad to hear my daughter say that. But it was like, and this is why you do what you do, Yvette. This is why it's important, because for you all young mothers, like, I don't want y'all children to be grown and here you all still sitting here watching me, but you still not trying to make better decisions even now. You're still being quiet about the mistakes you made, not saving your daughters. So do you want them to be 50 and 60 years old saying, I'm just, at 50 years old, I had just got to a place? I'm thankful that Kayla was in college and didn't have any children by the time she got to that healthy place. I was already married with children when I got to that healthy place. So I had already did some significant damage to my children. I recall, and you all know that I believe in being very transparent and honest, but even in me watching that video this morning, because I just saw it this morning, it was yesterday that they did it, but I just saw it this morning, and even in doing it, God told me to share with you all. This confirms how after my stepdaughter was in college, she contacted me and she just was like, I want to talk to you about some things that happened to me as a child. And so we talked, and she was just like, I feel like you were really harder on me than you were on Kayla and Jada. And I was like, well, because I only had you every other weekend, and I felt like I needed to make sure you were doing the same things they were doing. Now, one of the things that I said to her was, did I do some things wrong? Most definitely. Oh my God, yes. And what I tried to explain to her was that I was trying to figure out myself. I told her, I said, I was probably, at that point, I was probably just getting to the place where I was liking myself, not even loving myself, but liking myself. And here I was, a mother, a wife, a stepmother, trying to be a friend, a co-worker. I mean, that was just 5 titles at that. And, probably nowhere in there did I factor in myself. So did I make some mistakes along the way, but did I do them intentionally? No. But those are the things we have to go through when we don't talk back, you guys, when we don't try to help the generations behind us, when we don't acknowledge that we screwed up or that our parents screwed up. It's not about talking about them, about shaming them, but it's about owning this stuff. Like, I don't want nobody else to tell my story. I want Kayla and Jada and Kai and whatever grandchildren, other grandchildren I have, I want them to hear, like, these videos, I hope they last forever. I want them to hear from me the things I struggle with, the things that I'm fighting to conquer so they won't have to deal with them. But when you sit there and you're getting older and older and you steady in denial about the stuff that's going on in your family or the attitudes and the behavior and all the dysfunction, and then you expect the generation behind you to do better, that stuff just sitting waiting to grab them. And sometimes it grab them and shake them, and they kind of just make it on through just like you. Sometimes it destroys them. Everybody can't handle that kind of stuff. So when you know, like, and y'all know my favorite topic is molestation and all that kind of stuff in the family, sexual abuse. So when you know there's sexual abuse in the family and you don't say nothing, it's just waiting to get your grandchildren or your nieces or your nephews or whoever the next generation is. And then you just sitting there crying, whining about what's going on when you could have opened up your mouth. So is today the day that you need to open up your mouth about something that's going on in your family that if you say something, it could change the trajectory of the situation. Like at this point, I'm really good. The fact that hardly nobody in my family talks to me. But I'm talking to you all. I feel like, well, I know for a fact God told me that he kept me here to help the people behind me. So I'm here to help you all, but I can only help you so far. I can only talk to you from this extent and plead with you all to talk back to the generation behind you. Save them by, you can't just be praying, oh Lord, please don't let it happen to them. Open up your mouth and say, I know that Uncle so-and-so have a habit of putting his hands on people that he shouldn't. And so you need to acknowledge if that stuff is happening in your family. You need to talk about if you know that there are people who harmed you as a child that are still living, and you know family members are still letting those children go around them. I mean, we got to acknowledge the stuff that's going on. And I don't mean just like, oh yeah, child, I know we have generational curses in our family. No, be specific. Talk about it. I don't want, first of all, I don't want other people to have to tell my children my story. I don't want Kai them to have to come read journals about how I was just so wanting and praying so much for them to do better. No, they gonna know I want them to do better by my actions. What are you doing to make sure that your family knows that you want them to do better? I saw a post somebody posted on Facebook, and this is not my first time seeing it, but it struck a chord this time. So somebody posted a thing on Facebook, and it said something about people trying to help people with stuff they still struggling with. You haven't even conquered it. It offended me so. It offended me. And again, it wasn't my first time seeing it, but it really offended me this time. And then there were people on there chiming in, talking about, oh yeah, they get on my nerves with all that. All of a sudden, you're an expert. I'm not an expert, but I got enough experience. I got enough knowledge in me to say just enough to save you. And that's what's wrong now. And so whoever thought that they may want to talk about something that happened to them with the hopes of helping somebody else, just shut their mouth because you said something stupid. You posted something stupid, and yep, I said it. And if you the one posted it and you're watching my video, oh well. It's the truth. Like, it really offended me. Not to the point that I'll shut up, because I just looked at it and said, poor you. The day you master perfection, you have no purpose on this earth. So I don't know who they think they are that they've mastered so much, because if you've mastered everything, you wouldn't even be here to post on Facebook. But the fact that you're hindering people, there are some people who just that day had just enough strength to maybe say something encouraging to a family member or say something about something truthful that needed to be said, and you shut them up. So shame on you. Shame on you. But I'm not going to spend a whole time with that other than saying, don't let nobody shame you into shutting up. If you see something wrong, say something. Talk about it. Do something. Save those children that you see. Like, we can't just keep saying, ooh, that's sad. The generation behind us is going to hell. Yeah, they are if we don't open up our mouth and do something. Yeah, they are. So open up your mouth, say something, do something, show that you love them by, I say all the time, like, my mom never said she loved me and all that kind of stuff, but it was the fact that she was more into buying things for me. That was her way of showing me that she loved me. She did the best she could with the knowledge she had. Are you doing the best you can with the knowledge you have? Like, are you talking back to your children, even your grown children, even if you say, well, they already making those mistakes. They already got 2, 3 children. Help them stop. Don't sit there and see that your family has a history for having 7, 8, 9, 10 children out of wedlock, and you just sitting there seeing your children make the same mistakes you made, and you not saying nothing. You see your children getting high all the time and you not saying nothing, like, child, that's just what they do. I want to sleep at night knowing I tried to save Kayla and Jada. I am in the phase of life where I say I pray more than I talk, but they know when I do finally open up my mouth, I'm saying something worthy of listening. I'm not constantly on them about everything. I'm not nitpicking them about little, silly things. Like, I'll say something to Jada every now and then. Like, I'll tell her, sometimes I just pass through your post because I don't like, cursing or whatever. And even though she know not to curse in front of me, I don't even like to read posts where she's cursing. But it be those more important things that I do take time to be like, if you know like I know, you listen. If I were you, I would listen. So are you going to that extent with your children, or are you just sitting there talking about them but not doing anything? Or you see family members, falling by the wayside and you just like, child, that's just what them children do. Yeah, that is what they're going to do if we don't say something, if we don't do something. And then we can't keep still doing the same thing. Like, let it convict you enough to stop. If you still smoking weed, and you saying about your children can't get jobs because they can't stop. Well, why don't you show some leadership and stop? Or if you say they can't stop drinking and you still drinking and you say, well, but I'm grown. Or, I'm retired, or whatever your excuse is. Like, I really work on trying not to curse because I want my children to stop cursing, and I want Kai to not curse at all. Like, that would just be the ultimate. I won't say ultimate. I won't be that drastic. It won't be the ultimate, but it will be hurtful to me if I was to ever hear him curse. Because I'd be like, God darn, there go another generation. Like, seriously. Seriously. Like, I don't want him to curse at all. Like, I'll be honest with you. Even when he hears us say stuff, he'll be like, don't say that. And that's embarrassing that he have to tell me don't say that. But he don't even like if he hear you say something mean about somebody or something. He'll say, don't say that. And so back to what I was saying, because I know that Satan tried to get me off of there, but I was saying something about, when I was apologizing to my stepdaughter, I was explaining to her, like, I never did anything with intention to hurt you, but did I make some mistakes along the way? And I went so far to tell her, like, I love Kayla and Jada to death, but did they get hurt in the process of me figuring out who the heck I was and how to be a better mom? Most definitely. But it was never with intent to hurt anyone. Well, I thank God I had that conversation with her. Can you say that you've had that conversation with somebody? I don't know to what extent she took it to heart or whatever. And I actually, to be completely honest with you all, and then I also told her, like, I'm not good at letting people hold me bound to past mistakes. Like, once I sincerely apologize to you, then I'm pretty much through with it. Because nothing was done with intention. Now, if you know you did it with intention, that's a whole nother type of apology. But where me and her was talking about, she was saying that she struggled with some things as a child, and she wanted to know, did I know? And some of the stuff I didn't know. And then she was just saying how she felt like I was harder on her than I was on Kayla and Jada. And that was mainly because I felt like they were getting an even balance of me. They lived in the house with me, but she was only there every other weekend. And so unfortunately, it looked like I was Cruella de Vil because I was always, fussing about something, it seemed like. And if I could have did it a different way, yeah, I wish I could have. I wish I had. But I know that my heart was right. I was trying to give her everything I was giving Kayla them. But again, I was giving it to them on a daily basis and only seeing her every other weekend. So it was like I was having to play catch up with all these things I wanted them to learn and do and be different. And then I was fighting against some things with her because there were two totally different lifestyles that she was having to lead, you know, based on what was going on in her mom's house and what was going on at our house. And we all know God didn't intend for life to be like that. God didn't intend for all these children to have to be dealing with the stuff that we bring upon them. But nevertheless, be woman enough, be man enough to talk about what those things are. Apologize if you need to, like I did, and then move forward in a different direction. Like try to do better. Like if you know you weren't a good mom, then be a good grandmother. Like I feel like I definitely made some mistakes. Definitely made some mistakes parenting, but overall I feel like I had a good journey. Like some of the stuff I hear children going through, I couldn't imagine going through that with my children. I could not imagine. So overall things were okay, but did I fail Kayla and Jada in some ways? Yeah. Like I said, that part was hurtful to hear Kayla say yesterday to those young girls that she didn't start loving herself until she was in college. That hurt, but it didn't hurt enough to shut me up. It hurt enough for me to say, and this is why I need to keep talking. This is why I need to keep doing what I'm doing. This is why I'm glad that by me owning it, that's the other thing God brought to my mind too. By me owning it, it was easy for Kayla to own it. If I would have still been in denial, she probably would have still been in denial. She wouldn't have been as free yesterday to talk about those things to those young girls had I not, her mother, been free in talking about it. I guarantee you, because it was really hard for me because I ain't have nobody to look back. I didn't have a mama that was talking about it, a sister or anything like that. I basically feel like I started from scratch, or I started through the life of strangers talking about it. Don't let that be your story. Like, let your children be able to lean on you. Don't let them have to look at somebody on TV and say, oh, I wish I was like them. Like, you know who I look at? Iyanla Vanzant. I could look at that lady reruns 50, 60 times a day. And I would never get tired because I always get a different lesson every time I watch her shows on TV. That's where I'm grabbing from. I'm grabbing from her, and I listen to a lot of Oprah Winfrey talking about her struggles as a child, and how I was just listening to one of her videos yesterday, and she was talking about how when she first came up, they were constantly trying to change how she looked, how she talked. They even wanted to change her name. She talked about how they wanted to change her name to Susie, and that she actually considered it. And then, you know, of course, she didn't do it, and luckily she didn't. But you know, she said her grandmother groomed her and used to tell her, Oprah Gail, you need to pay attention how I'm washing these clothes because you'll have to do this one day. But at least she had somebody talking to her. I ain't have nobody. I don't want that to be Kayla and Jada's story. I don't want that to be Kai's story. Like, I talk to Kai all the time when I make him put the phone down. But we have talks. And for him to be 7 years old, he's very deep. Like, I love his caring. He's very caring. He's very compassionate. And I love his innocence. I love how he doesn't quite get it yet that I know all his grandpas. Like, he'll say, Mimi, you know my papa, Kenny? And I say, I sure do. And he said, I didn't know you know him. Don't you all know one day that little boy gonna put that puzzle together? So all I can do at this point is live a life that when he finds out everything about me, he'll still have more, he'll be more proud of me than shame of me. But if I don't constantly work toward being a better me, by the time he's old enough to figure out who all I am in totality, I need the good to override the bad, you guys. So that's why I got to do some stuff now that matters. I'm begging y'all, do some stuff with y'all children that matter. Like, call those grown children and check on them. Don't let them just tell you, oh, okay, you know, everything okay. Like, go the next extra mile to check up on them and to give them some love and to do some things differently. I mean, if you had, I tell y'all all the time, If y'all had a good childhood, then give your children a great childhood. And even in their adult life, don't think just because they grown, they don't need to hear "I love you." They still need to hear it even more so, because this world is full of a bunch of lies. A bunch of people that's trying to use them. You remember how it is for us, or it still is in that case. So if it's there so much more for us, think about how it is for our children. So call your children, tell them you love them. Act like, you concerned about what's going on with them, not just when it's bad and want to fuss at them, but enjoy the good times. Or don't just talk to them when it's something good. Like, cry with them. Like, I'm very compassionate with my children when they going through stuff. Like, I don't use that moment, at that exact moment, to fuss. I may fuss about it, later on. But I remember just one occasion where I had screwed up really bad. And I just knew my mom was going to let me have it. But God being who she was, because I was grown, but I had screwed up, and my mom, I just knew it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to hear her mouth. But I didn't. That's the only time, though. That's the only time I remember her really showing me love. She just said, Yvette, you got to make better decisions. And she said it with such love and passion that I'll never forget it. I shouldn't have just that one moment. Your children shouldn't have just one moment when they remember you showing compassion and love and talking to them about those things that hurt. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have to maybe talk to your children about your sex life and be honest with them and tell them that you were promiscuous, or, that you were wild or whatever. But help them know that that's a curse that needs to be broke. Again, don't y'all know I'm going to be embarrassed when Kai finally understand everything. And he going to be like, so my Mimi was married to all my grandpas? Yeah. But again, I hope the good that I've done will override the embarrassing moments. I hope that he'll be just embarrassed enough about those moments about me that he won't make the same bad decisions. He won't take marriage so lightly. He won't be a runner like I'm a runner, like my dad was a runner. Shit got too bad, he ran. And so I mean, even though I stayed married to George over 20-some years, still everything in me I wanted to run. Only reason I stayed was because of my girls. I thought that I was giving them a better life. But looking back, I should have got out of it then, because I was miserable and I married for the wrong reason. So, I did more damage than I did good. And that goes back to me ending this with talking about Naomi again. Did God send Naomi's husband to her? Because I don't think that any of us ever slowed down to read that chapter enough to pay attention that he made her a lot of promises. And he wasn't able to deliver any of those promises. And not that somebody should be able to deliver everything they promise you, because their intent, should be well. But still, like, according to the way it went, none of the things that he promised her that were going to happen if they moved away happened. Worse things happened. And so, I just wonder, like, did she make the wrong mistake in marrying him? And that's why things got worse. But then we serve a God of another chance, because he definitely gave Naomi another chance. And then it's good to have somebody who will stick with you. Her daughter-in-law stuck with her. One of them, it started out, two of them left. But she tried to convince both of them, just go back to your parents. I can't do anything for you. I'm too old to have more children, so it's not likely I would ever have any more sons for you to marry. Just go head on. And one of them did. But that one daughter-in-law stuck with her. And so it's encouraging for us to know that we have that one friend, that one earthly friend. You know how our grandparents would always say, at the end of the day, you don't have nobody but Jesus. You can't trust nobody but Jesus. But that's just not, earthly possible. You got to have at least one earthly friend that you can rely on, that you can trust, that'll have your back, through everything. And I hope that each of you all have that for yourselves too. Y'all know I always say when the Holy Spirit get quiet, it's time for me to get up off of here. So I hope that I said something impactful today, something that'll be beneficial to your life. Make that phone call, do something, good for yourself and others this week. I love you guys from all the healthy places in my heart, and please know that my heart is getting healthier every day, and I pray that yours is as well. So I will see you all next Sunday, if the Lord say the same, 6 o'clock for Soul Searching Sunday. Take care.